Yo, what's up everybody? This is Jeremy with Phat Airlines, and how y'all doing? Today we're going to be playing some Phat Empire account, my stream only account, and we are going to also go over the new dev blog. There's a new dev blog that came out earlier this week. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to read it through together. Some of you guys already seen it. I haven't seen it yet, but we're going to read it, we're going to talk about it, and give our thoughts about what's happening in the future. But it's so nice that you guys are here. What's up, Air Sri Param? What's up, Ultra? What is up? Yo, BA2998, thank you for 3 months of basic, man. Appreciate that. We got France Japan here. We got Magis here. We got Wendy Sanchez. We got Paulo here. We got Dolphins Airline, Ruben's here, France Japan, Hidden Matrix Gaming. We got Matthias is here, Nayorami Airlines is here. Awesome! I'm so glad to see you guys. I didn't really even read this dev blog yet, so like I've viewed it a couple of times, so I know like the general idea of what's gonna be in there. But like I didn't really read it, so I have no clue like what all the details are. I just scrolled through it and saw the pictures, you know. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the dev blog. We're gonna play some prog today as well. But dev blog 30 came out 4 days ago, which is when? November 4th. So yeah, a few days ago. And we'll take a look. It's going to go over version 3.3.0, what happened in 3.3.0, what's next in World of Airports, and for Flyboys. So Kubasan posts, hey everyone, it's been a few weeks since version 3.3.0 took off, and what a release it was. Launching such a feature-packed update right on the game's anniversary was a bit of a bold move, but I think it paid off. New aircrafts, new scheduling system, and our first generic airport, and a bunch of under-the-hood improvements. It's been quite a flight. We didn't manage to roll out the long-awaited cross-platform account linking yet. Testing across devices turned out to be more complex than we hoped. But I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the main features that, from my point of view, define this update. So, yeah, in 3.3.0, we got new handling services. So they introduced 2 new ground services, Ambulift and Technical Assistance. Ambulift is triggered by a probability-based algorithm. Oh, this is cool. It sounds like they're going into some of the details on how it works on the back end. So Ambulift is triggered by a probability-based algorithm that simulates how many passengers with reduced mobility arrive or depart on a given flight. It's not something you can predict, and yes, it can sometimes affect your ability to meet turnaround limits. However, you can still use the deal manager to smooth out those occasional overruns when needed. Oh, so I remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was Mike. Mike was, I don't know if Mike's here, because I haven't said hi to everybody in chat yet. But Mike was saying how with the Ambulift, he was delayed on one of his services. So it sounds like that's not a bug. It can happen. All right, let's keep going. Technical assistance currently appears randomly, but in future updates, it'll be linked to aircraft age and maintenance condition. This feature is part of our broader effort to bring more operational realism to ground handling without overwhelming players with micromanagement. That's the Ambulift right there. Alright, schedule system. This feature was designed to bring structure and order into how airports operate, and I truly believe it's doing just that. So far, the feedback's been exactly where we were hoping for. Players are adapting quickly, and many great suggestions have already landed on the forum. We're looking at improvements like more filters. Yes, I'm excited. Sometimes it's hard to find the exact plane I want to find, right? A reset option for schedules. Yes. Expanding delivery manager abilities. Yes. Okay, these are all great ideas so far. Like landing only scheduled aircraft. Yes, that would be perfect. UI refinements for clearer navigation. Okay. And showing only the next scheduled inbound aircraft in the arrival queue for each stand. I don't know what that means. Showing only the next scheduled inbound aircraft in the arrival queue for each stand. I don't know what that means. maybe I just gotta keep reading. However, we're also aware of a bug that can freeze the entire airport, preventing players from resuming operations. We're working on this issue, and a fix will be included in version 3.3.1. Thanks for your patience while we get this one resolved. It's a top priority. I don't think I've had that bug, but interesting. And yes, Kuba does read the forum regularly. Maybe it doesn't always look like we're there, but believe me, he spends a good amount of time going through your comments and ideas. Cool. Generic airports. The idea behind it. So I think this section here, I just read the first sentence here. I think we underestimated how much explanation this feature needed. So I think this section is really going into details on what a generic airport is, what you can expect for this current generic airport that we have, and what you can expect for future ones. So the concept of generic airports isn't about replacing real ones. It's about expanding the playable network beyond what's realistically possible with the small team. They've said from the start that their goal isn't to make perfect 3D replicas. They aim for functional realism, which is like runways, frequencies, weather, position, but not necessarily one-to-one visual accuracy. And here's the real reason behind it. Developing a fully detailed real-world airport takes 2 to 3 months, and with more people, the process still won't get faster. The world has thousands of interesting airports that would never make it into the game if they kept waiting 2 to 3 months to make each airport. Generic airports use shared assets and a unified scene, meaning we can have 1 or 100 without making the app heavier. That's the key advantage. This approach also lets us add new systems more easily. For example, wind-based runway operations can be implemented once and instantly applied to every single generic airport. With handcrafted airports, we need to rebuild taxi networks one by one. To put it simply, generic airports are a way to bring more playable destinations for player connections, not less. Okay. And no, this doesn't mean we're stepping away from real airports, quite the opposite. We already have 4 real airports in development across continents and scales, so no worries there. That's CNN right there, right? The generic airport. So yeah, I think that's the important part. Generic airports are a way to bring more playable destinations. So this is going to give us like more places for our planes to go to, and more variety for us to play as players too. So I like that. I do like though that they're also letting us know that they have 4 airports in development. So that's exciting, you know. All right, what's next? This is the part I haven't read this at all. I only saw some of the pictures in like for social media and stuff. So I'm excited to read this. All right, you probably already caught the spoiler. We're working on HKG Hong Kong, and it's going to be massive. We've decided to portray it in its under construction phase, but still based on real documentation and layout plans to make it as realistic as possible. Right after that, we're planning to deliver something smaller and more compact again. On the aircraft side, we're adding more to the 747 family to complete it, and introducing Comac aircraft to the lineup, mainly because of HKG. The long-awaited account linking system should finally be ready, along with a custom time and weather feature for airports, something that's been requested countless times. That's pretty cool. So before we get into the pictures there, I know a lot of you guys are probably excited about the 747 updates, right? I'm excited for HKG. I love big airports, but I also appreciate small airports too. So I'm excited to hear that they have that. And then of course, account linking system. Can't wait for that. You know, a lot of people had to start new accounts on their new phones because they switched from iPhone to Android or Android to iPhone. So that's going to be great. Let's take a look at these pictures. So here's the HKG layout. Nice. Okay. Work in progress. Was that the C-17? 747s. Here's HKG. All right, that's pretty cool. New planes, new airport. Super exciting. All right, handling evolution and ground services. So adding Ambulift and technical assistance opened a Pandora's box of possibilities for our handling system. We realized we needed to rewrite the entire ground service logic to make room for different vehicle types and more flexible operations. The idea is to allow players to use different type of ground vehicles like pushback trucks, GPUs, ACUs, loaders, etc., where it makes sense. Experience interdependent service logic based on aircraft type, number of... Sorry, I lost my spot. Number of service doors, and other operational constraints. Experience handling variability. Sorry, experience handling variability based on gate type, jet bridge versus remote stand, split ground handling into 2 phases, loading and unloading with a variable delay between them depending on flight type and contract requirements. Some aircraft will make quick turnaround, others will remain parked longer just like in real operations. This setup will also enable crew disembarkation and boarding, making rotations feel even more authentic. Encounter natural turnaround delays, making the apron feel more alive, and new animations for crew. So it sounds like a lot of you guys who wanted like more realism in this game is going to get that. You know, some of you guys who want to, you know, have your airport to be more full and, you know, have planes are going to take longer to handle, and I'm kind of worried about that. You know, like an A380 already takes 17 minutes to handle. You know, that's a long time. And now there's going to be some variability in how fast it takes for loading and unloading, and it could even take even longer. And then on top of that, you have the other, you know, other services that could slow things down immensely. But hey, that's what you guys want, right? So that's what they're implementing. The developers here always listen to the community. So I'm not a big fan of making things take longer, but I know people want to see their airports more full. But let's keep reading. To make these systems believable, airports will also gain new operational depth. Aircraft will be able to park at dedicated stands during longer layovers, waiting for their next scheduled flight. Meanwhile, FOD inspections, which are already a part of the gameplay, will be expanded so that ramp agents can discover issues leading to stand cleaning or maintenance requirements. We're also preparing runway maintenance, including rubber removal and winter plowing. Each task will require its own set of ground equipment, which means more vehicles and a rewritten handling logic to support them all. So no, we're definitely not slowing down, quite the opposite. We got some new equipment, the pushback, was that APU? Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of making gameplay take longer. I'm not a big fan of that, you know. I mean, I'm thinking about new players too. When you're in Innsbruck, you know, it's going to take what 10 minutes to handle a seaplane when you're brand new in that airport, and it is a mobile game. You know, now you're waiting 10 minutes and you're a new player. That's a long time. So I hope it gets balanced. You know, we'll see what it looks like, but I'm not a fan of having things take longer, especially since, like, what is the reward going to be? More Wallers, more silver planes, which could be useful when you're in a newer airport, newer level, but like for some of us, it's not going to be helpful. But anyways, all right, we're going to keep going. We got the long-term pipeline. We're gradually reworking taxiway layouts at existing airports to prepare them for multi-directional operations and shared stands. Nice. Alongside that, We'll be updating some airports graphically, especially those that have changed in real life since their original release. Nice. We're also working on new aircraft customization system, which will allow deeper personalization options for players. Nice. This upgrade, however, requires reworking every aircraft model in the game. Oh my god. That's going to take some, so it's going to take some time, but it will make future customization much more flexible. I feel like I've heard this before when they when 2.0 came out and they made the third generation of aircraft. They kind of said the same thing, but I guess there's always new things that like the community requests, like the winglets and other things like that are like customizable for every single aircraft, which probably aren't like originally in their plans, but then so many people request it that they have to kind of rework everything, which then, you know, kind of delays a couple things too. But we'll see what the customization looks like. For me, I mean, if I could customize my livery, I'll be happy. That's really all I'm looking for. And of course, we're not forgetting our long-term projects like business jets, new cargo system, alliances, revamped demand system, and new events. And now we got plans beyond World of Airports. By the end of this year, we'd like to release our side project, Scrap It. A small casual game that's already nearing completion has been developed alongside World of Airports. At the same time, we're slowly starting a new project that goes back to the roots of civil aviation, and it will include a completely new version of Airport PRG as a part of it. Let's take a look. If you guys remember from another dev blog, I think the Scrap It game is like that Tetris inspired game that they talked about in another dev blog. So, and it's completely offline. So we'll see what that looks like. And a huge thank you to all the players for your continuous support, your forum posts, your bug reports, and your ideas. A special shout out to the moderators who keep the community running smoothly. You're doing an incredible job. I'd also like to organize a series of mini fan meetups at our in-game airports. The first phase would focus on European locations, followed by American airports. Depending upon level of interest, we could then continue with additional locations later on. We'd hand out some merch, even give away a few iPads from our partner Stash. Ooh. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in where you join. Let's see which airport has the strongest local community. Bro, I would go to every single one, you know, but we'll see. It's kind of expensive. One of my dreams is to, you know, go to every single airport, every single in-game airport, and like make a video blog out of it. Actually, one of the things I've been planning for like the last couple of weeks is maybe doing an airport blog at IAD, because I'm in New Jersey and IAD is kind of close. It's not a long flight, and then I could get there in the morning, spend a day there, make some, you know, WOA versus real life comparisons, and then get home, you know, at nighttime. So that's going to be like my first one that I'm going to be doing. But one of my goals is I want to travel, right? So, and I like traveling with a purpose. So having like this goal of making these videos, World of Airports versus real life, would inspire me to do that. So I would definitely go to some of these mini fan meetups. But I wouldn't want to take, you know, somebody like, I wouldn't want to take somebody's spot if it's like super limited. I would want to go to some. And P.S. just a small note for transparency. This entire dev blog was personally written by me, but later translated using AI to make sure it was clear and correct for everyone reading in English. Bro, you guys, well, not you guys, some of you guys are really intense about AI use. Really intense. And yeah. Welcome to 2025. All right, I know there's a lot of comments here, and I have to make a comment myself too, saying that I'm gonna go to all of them, but to all the, you know, mini meetups. But I know Kuba-san also replied to a few of these posts. So here's a reply from Kuba with another plane model. We got some some people's thoughts. Ain't nobody saying they're going to the mini meetup yet, though. What the? I guess people don't read that far, right? People don't read the entire thing. All right, we don't need to quote the entire thing. There ain't nobody going to the meetups, guys. Nobody. Look. Okay, this is a reply to pizza. What does this mean? Does it refer to the new terminal being operational? Yes, look on Scheme. Okay. Here we go. So the first person, and it's Crankenwork. Nice. Who's gonna go and come within Europe? Nice. I'm just looking for some Kuba-san or developer replies. All right, here's a yes. Will MROs and maintenance hangars be part of the mentioned future technical facilities rework? Yes. Hey Kuba, thank you, and thank you to your team very much for your great work. Yes, I would be interested at this giveaways. I'm living near In, but a visit at Prague also possible. I know some other players from the area in. I would like to talk to them. Innsbruck is their first target. It'd be great if someone could help gather players. Okay, is one of those 4 airports being developed in Africa? Africa seems to be the forgotten continent. Are we just going to get a generic airport maybe one day just to say there is an airport in Africa? Then they go into detail. Okay. Yeah. Africa isn't forgotten. We'll focus on it next year. The plan is to make one realistic 3D airport and a few more generic ones to build a working network there. Alright, wonder what the other 3 airports are that are in for real detailed treatment. Also, the next generic airport, hope it's LCY. Aircraft will be able to park at dedicated stands during longer layover waiting for their next scheduled flight. So does that mean we lose stands at Heathrow? The answer is no. Alright, let's keep going. Here's Charlie. Charlie's another developer, right? That's a long post. Alright, I guess we gotta read it. Are we also going to see taxiway level included in the reworking as well? For more details, I will include the possible improvement for taxiways. Rapid exit taxiway, high-speed taxiway, taxiway level based on wingspan, auto pathfinder. That is all I have to relate to taxiway system alone. The other stuff such as de-ice apron, long-term stop towing system, single engine operation during taxi, hard pushback location might include more interaction with other components in the game. Wish some of those could see in the game soon. Yeah, that's beyond me, my knowledge. How exactly will the airplane find a different taxiway? Which logic do you propose to use? How will it inform the other airplanes that take other way so the other airplanes can plan their taxi path accordingly? That sounds exciting, but I'm curious how it can get done. Let's keep going. We're going to keep going. Man, I'm not seeing anybody. Like, I only seen like 2 posts about the meetups. That's sad. I need to make a reply saying I'm gonna go to every single one. There's a lot of replies on here, so, and I know Kuba-san and the developers have been active, you know, kind of like they said in the post. They read the forum, they're there. So, all right, let me make a reply now. How do I reply? How do I reply? At the bottom? Reply, there we go. I love hearing about these updates and what's coming soon for of airports and Flyboys. It is my dream to travel the world, and I love to go to all of the in-person meetups in Oa airports. So one of the things I want to do is I want to make a WOA versus real life video for my YouTube. Keep up the great work. I'm excited for the future. All right, reply. Needs approval. Yeah, that's fine. All right, cool. So that's the dev blog 30. I think the biggest thing here is just like kind of clarifying some of the stuff about like generic airports. We know like HKG has finally been confirmed, like officially, I guess. We know the 747 family is getting an update. I don't know if this handling evolution is coming in like the next update, or it's just the back end system that they've implemented to kind of improve, like to add more variability in the game. But we know also that there's another game coming out from Flyboys. Airport Prague is going to get an update, and also we're going to get the account linking, I think. What was it called? Was it called account? Yeah, account linking system. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, pretty cool dev blog. Lots of cool information, and I'm excited for what's going to happen in World of Airports. There are some things I'm concerned about too, and I mentioned that during this. But ultimately, I think the developers they understand, like they know it's a mobile game, right? So you can't have things take too long, because some people only have 5-10 minutes to play, and then some other people, they have more than that, right? Like I could play for 8 hours in a day. I have my iPad on all day, but not everybody can do that. So like those of us who can do that, having a, how do I word it? Having, what am I trying to say? Having those like delays or like the variability in time isn't like such a big problem. But for those of us who just play like for 5-10 minutes a day, and those are the people who also struggle to level up. They struggle to unlock new airports. They struggle to get XP and silver planes in the game. So I don't want them to get left behind either. I mean, even on this account where I only play once a week, but I play for 2 or 3 hours during that day, you know, I'm not getting 10 gold planes every single week, you know? So it does make it a little tough. All right, we're gonna play some Prague today. I want to say hi to everybody else who I missed. So what's up, Kelvinator? What's up, Frank Jailer? What's up, Made to Move? What is up, Mercurial Justice? Casper, what's good, man? We got Gab at the one. I don't know. Sorry. We got Aurora here. We got Hammy. We got BA2998. We got Hockey Fan. We got Flamingo. What's up, Flamingo? We got Trenton the Tank, who's very excited for the 747 SP. Nice. What's up, Cake? We got AV Geek Mike here. Who else? So yeah, sorry, I was really focused on the dev blog, so I missed a lot of your guys' messages, but no worries, we're reading through them now. Let's see. Educate's playing GRU right now. What's up, Sloppy? What's up, Kimberly? Esteban Alexander's okay. Flamingo finally got an Ambulift event on the Devs Concord at Leipzig. I saw your picture on the Discord. Yep, I thought that was kind of funny. The Ambulift, like we saw, that's actually pretty cool. That the dev blog, they did go into detail about how those are like kind of how they happen, right? So for the Ambulift, it's triggered by probability based algorithm, and technical assistance is random right now. But eventually, the technical assistance is going to be based on aircraft age and maintenance condition. So there might be a reason there might be more reasons for us to sell planes, because I wonder if there's like once they implement the aircraft age and maintenance condition, I wonder if that's going to make it so we're actually better off selling some older airplanes because they're just taking too much time. You know, like if every single handling end up needing repair, it might not be worth having that plane anymore, because now you're handling that plane for an extra 3 minutes, you know, doing a repair. And then on top of that, because of the other changes that they're making, you know, with the variability and handling services, you know, maybe that repair could also make your plane be delayed, right? So I guess that's adds a little bit more strategy, which is not bad. What's up, Ultra? Okay, Flamingo said it means it only shows up on the arrival queue when the stand is available on the schedule after the one is not occupied anymore. Oh, that makes sense. So what we're saying here is this right here. For the schedule system, they're looking at an improvement of showing only the next scheduled inbound aircraft in the arrival queue for each stand. So Flamingo said it means it only shows up on the arrival queue when the stand is available on the schedule after the one is not occupied anymore. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's so many filters or like options they probably could add. I think even just like right here in game settings, they could add like, you know, gameplay settings here beyond just the general that let us like modify like the filters, you know, how certain things handle. I mean, even like the tower manager features could probably be in the game settings. But all right, cool. It's the 747 Dreamliner. Gotcha. It's good to know. Hammy's waiting for the cross-platform update. Yeah, for real. You've been waiting for a while, right, Hammy? That's the only reason you still have your old Android phone, I think you said. But like another thing too is like we have all these plans, but we still don't have like the alliance system. I guess some of these features are also going to be utilized in the alliance system, but it's like we don't have the alliance system, which we've been talking about for years, right? We don't have the challenge system, which has been talked about for years. Then again, I think the developers are also they love aviation, right? So they're really aviation fans. So I get it that we're going to get a lot more aviation updates. But I also want to see like a few more like game updates, I would say. Yeah, game updates. I don't know how else to word it. But yeah, I would definitely want to see more game updates, like the challenges, alliances, things like that make, you know, the gameplay a little bit more interesting, more fun. I mean, the random events and stuff like that could also make it a little bit more interesting. But like having a reason to go in there, you know, like having unlimited levels or having XP have a purpose after you're done maxing out the level, you know, maxing out the airport, having something like that. But that's me. I'm a gameplay guy. You know, I want to see more gameplay coming out of this game. And the developers, I mean, they're aviation people, so it's a different. It might be a little bit different there. You're gonna have fun with generic airports. Are you counting those as in-game airports? That's a good question, right? Do you count like CNN as an in-game airport? I kind of do. I think though, what you have to do is like if more people play that airport, like right now, of course, everybody's gonna be playing CNN, but I think if more and more people like main play that one airport, then you'll probably see like a bigger case for that turning into a full-fledged airport. But would you rather see a new airport get added, or would you rather see a generic airport be turned into a 3D model? That's the real question, because I think some people would want to see a new destination be added, right? Christopher requested the B1900D and SW4. Cool. Hi, Fat, nice shirt. Is there something special going on today? Nah, man, just looking fresh. Nice haircut, by the way. Thank you, thank you. I didn't even do my hair. I just woke up and left it like this. Appreciate it. What's up, Brian Ho? Pat, should I buy a C130 and a B744 before 3.4.0? I don't know if the C130 is worth it in any scenario other than the fact that you don't want to pay more gold planes for it after it gets an update. Otherwise, there's not really a real big reason to get the C130. It's not really profitable. Well, it is profitable, but there's a lot of other better cargo planes out there that you can use instead of the C130. The 744, probably you should get it before 3.4.0, because if the 747s are going to get an update, then that might mean that the 744 might get an update too, and that's the perfect opportunity for them to update the price on the 744. Do I have the 744 unlocked here? Let's see. Yeah, I don't have the 744 unlocked, so it's perfect. So like the 744 is 28 gold planes. And then if you look at some of the other E-planes that are out there, even like the A359, 56 gold planes. You got the no, that one hasn't been updated. You got the, what is it? A 764, which is a D plane technically. You have D planes, a 764, which is 40 gold planes. So you have the 748, which is 60 gold planes. So yeah, definitely if you don't have the 744 and you're considering it, the time to unlock it is before 3.4 comes out, because it's very possible that this plane could get an update and then be twice as expensive. 56 gold planes instead of 28. And the cool thing is, if you unlock it now, then you're grandfathered in. You don't have to pay the bigger price. But also, something to keep in mind is deliveries are also cheaper, because once the plane price increases, then delivery price also increases. So yeah, 100%. Oh, would you visit every generic airport too? I probably wouldn't visit generic airports because it's not a true to life model, Ultra. So that would not make sense. I would not, because like, what would be the point of that video? Because like the whole purpose, well, the way I would make the trips, have some purpose, is by making a world of airports versus real life kind of video. And if we're going to visit a generic airport, then real life versus WOA is always going to be a massive difference. It's not made to be similar. So it would defeat the purpose, the point. So yeah, I would not do that. Would you please accept my contract? So on this account, we accept contracts, but you have to, buy them. You go into your Twitch. Underneath the Twitch chat, you have Fat Coins, and you can, in your case, this is a B plane, so you would buy the S plane contract. Once you buy the S plane contract, or in this case, this is the L plane contract because it's an A35K. So once you buy those contracts, which is free, you just gotta watch the stream, follow the stream. Then you get access to it. But oh snap, I forgot all these people who are subscribing and following. Yo, Mert, thank you for 38 months, bro. Sloppy, thank you for 41 months. And Easy, what's up, Easy? Easy Nuts for 15 months. I appreciate you guys. And Mert, thank you for tier 2 with 38 months, bro. I appreciate that. Mert, we got your Concords landing here. Already landed. And we're at 9 out of 10. So you know how excited I am about that. We're going to get like 4 levels today. What's up, Majox? So I'm new to WoA and I don't understand how to set up the schedule planner. Can you explain it? I'm not really gonna use the planner today, but if you look at my last stream on YouTube, we can go. I go through a lot about the scheduling feature. I'm going to create a video on it, but there's so many details that it's like I'm having a hard time trying to organize my thoughts so that way it makes sense logically. But yeah, today I'm not using the scheduling feature. It's a completely optional feature too. You don't have to use it. But really, the way I kind of would think about it is like these concords. When I scheduled them to land, you know, I would probably schedule them for specific stands, so that way they're going to be the first ones landing at those stands. And like when you have like a stand, like these stands over here, if we look here, like this is an F stand, this has F, and that has F. So I would schedule my F planes on these stands over here. That way the A380s and the 747s can land over there. But yeah, I'm not really going to use the scheduling manager today. That's not in my plan at all. Because it can get kind of tough to explain. Oh, look at this. I still have the Concorde from the anniversary. So, but I don't want to land that one next. I want to see do we have more Concords that are almost complete. We have Euroland Airways, which is at 8 out of 10. Then we have Manica at 7 out of 10. Nice. So we'll do Euroland Airways, stand 22. Now we could add it to schedule, but I'm not using the tower manager today, or the scheduler. What is CNN Generic Airport? It's an airport. It's an airport in India. Do I think Madrid Airport would be a good in-game airport? I don't know. I'm happy with whatever airports they put in. Anytime though that there's an airport that allows us to use our B planes in addition to all the other sizes, I'm super happy. And when I mean utilize our B planes, I mean like for player contracts. I mean, you could always buy B planes and send them to a non-player destination. That's always available, an option. But for me, I have the most fun when I'm playing with other players. I like seeing other people's planes. I like, you know, I like well, it's nice to like see when people are playing. I get to miss people when they're not playing. Like there's a couple people whose planes I haven't seen in a long time. So I know I hope they're just taking a break from World of Airports. So, you know, it keeps me connected to you guys. If I can just do everything manually, yep, that's exactly how I'm doing it today. But if you turn on the delivery manager will also automatically select and assign stands for you. So you don't even have to do that manually. The scheduler just kind of puts specific planes in specific stands, which is helpful like for larger planes, I guess. That's the way I see it, larger planes, because then you can dedicate or you could prioritize certain planes to certain stands, so that way, for example, if you have a G plane, you can make sure that the A225 always has priority for that G stand, you know, instead of some other like B plane that could also go there. Because I've had that happen a few times where the delivery manager will assign a small plane to my G cargo stand, even though my A225 is waiting in queue. So if you go into the scheduler and you schedule that A225 into that stand, then that will prioritize that plane for that stand, and then essentially you don't have to worry about a B plane being parked there when you still have the G plane waiting to land. Oh yeah, I can accept it now. No problem. So yeah, if you guys want to send contracts to this account here, you have to buy the contract on Twitch. It's for free. All you gotta do is go onto Twitch, use your Phat coins, which you get for following, for watching the stream, for being here. and then I accept your contract. So for these two contracts here, you have to send, you have to buy the L plane contract. We do that so that way the people who are here on stream are also being handled. Additionally, we also do that because people who are here every Saturday, or every time I stream, or they get points. And then what that also allows us to do is it makes sure that you guys, you guys are probably most likely playing World of Airports while watching. So that's it works out nicely, because then a lot of your guys' planes come back. I don't have to worry about planes just not being handled, not showing up. Speaking of not showing up, let's see, all my planes are ready to land. They are. That's great. Good. So yeah. Hello from Austria. Nice. Hello from New Jersey. Pat, have you accepted mine? You should know that, man. Of course I did. You bought it. I accept it. We're supposed to heart the DH-64s too, but I don't think they are free. We're gonna go ahead and land this A380. Gonna approve that's for landing. Manchester United said more money should be given for ambulance services because it takes money and time to purchase and operate. It actually costs airlines money to offer those services, right? In real life. I get where you're coming from though, is in a gameplay perspective. Yeah, we should probably get compensated for it. But in real life, the airlines have to hire the staff for every single person that needs wheelchair assistance. They need to, they need to do all that on their own. They don't get compensated for it. The people who need wheelchair assistance, they're not paying more for their plane ticket because they need wheelchair assistance. So, but yeah, it would be nice because it's taking us more time. We should probably get compensated for it, but based on the route the game seems to be going, I don't think that's going to happen, because it sounds like a lot of things are going towards more realism. When do you think 3.4 comes out? I'm guessing December. Actually, and can you believe December is a month away? But I'm thinking around Christmas time, which is December 25th. I'm thinking around then, because there's a lot more than just 3.4, right? You have the Hong Kong airport, which is still a work in progress, but they shared some pictures on it, so that's a good sign that they're nearing completion. We have the account linking, which they could always delay, I guess. There's other features they mentioned in 3.4 too. The 747 family, which we also have pictures of the model, and we only have one that's an actual finished model picture, whereas the other ones are work in progress. I don't know if this handling, evolution, and ground services are all going to be there on 3.4, but it is kind of mentioned in that 3.4 section before the long-term pipeline section. So it's very possible we could start seeing some new ground vehicles, some variability, some turnaround delays, and new animations as well. I mean, we did see even new animations for in this update too, in 3.3. Why isn't there an airport in Las Vegas? There is an airport in Las Vegas, just not in World of Airports. And that goes with what they were saying. That's why they introduced generic airports, because there's thousands of airports in the world, right? And it's literally impossible for them to get every single airport in the world if it takes them 3 to 4 months to make a single airport, right? So if it takes them 3 to 4 months to make one airport, and there's thousands of airports in the world, then they would never, this game would be going on until the year 3000, which is cool, right? That'd be awesome, but they wouldn't be able to get all the airports. So that's where generic airports are really going to come help out with World of Airports in the development, so that way we can get some more of those other airports in the game. Vegas would be cool though, because it's not like too close to San Diego, but it's still close enough that you could get some like nice quick connections as well with some of the smaller airplanes. Level 20, let's go. So how many levels is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. That is nice. That's the tough part though about playing with player contracts, is that right, I was struggling to get levels this entire time, but now since some of my contracts are finally hitting that 10 out of 10, now I get to see 5 levels at once. So that's why, like, for most players, I recommend in the beginning of an airport you do a mix of both player planes and non-player planes. But because this is like my stream only account, I'm doing only player planes pretty much, with a few non-player planes, but I'm always prioritizing player planes. So it makes it very hard. It takes a long time to level up, but once I do level up, I'm getting 5 levels. You know, once I do finish the contract, I'm getting 5 levels at once. So I'm going to go ahead and claim some of these rewards here. Oh, we got more handling crew. That's cool. Finally. We got some new airplanes. An AT-75F contract. All right. Only 4 more levels though for my or 4 more XP for my next level. So let's turn on some of these parking mini games. We're gonna park some planes. Las Vegas is the 5th busiest airport in the US. You would think it would be there. If you're talking about busiest airports in the world, then why is Innsbruck in the game, bro? It has nothing to do with how busy an airport is at all. That's not like one of their criteria. Why is Innsbruck in the game? Why is Bari in the game? Definitely not busiest airports in the world. But yeah, I get it. I get it. You want that airport, so I get it. I get it. I'm playing the game after 2 years. Is totally different now. Especially gates have become very costly. 42,000 for Airbus 380 is so much in comparison to previous version. Yeah. Essentially, the way the stands work now is you kind of have to, how do I word it? They want you're not supposed to get an A380 as soon as you unlock an airport, you know? Think about it this way. When if in real life you're opening up a new airport, you're not going to be handling F planes right off the bat for the most part. Some airports might, but if you're starting off as a local airport, which is what you are starting off at in this game, you're starting off as a local airport, you're not going to be handling F planes. You're not going to be handling E planes. You're handling C and B, A, B, and C planes. And that's what that update really did. So that way, by the time you're like a regional or an international airport, then you might be able to start to afford some of those larger airplanes. So what am I trying to say? The hard part is that like you can't just like jump into an X plane right away or an A388 right away, and you have to kind of work your way. So that's why E planes are so great nowadays, because that costs like 8,000 less to unlock. But yeah, it's definitely very different than when we started playing, you know, years ago for sure. Do I play Infinite Flight Simulator? Nah, I'm not a big fan of flight simulators. I get bored really quickly with them. I mean, if I were to be flying an actual plane, I wouldn't get bored. But doing the simulators, I get really bored pretty quickly by playing them. Did I turn on the parking minigame for this? I did. Good, good. How about that one? I did not. Do you have plans on streaming more than once a week? My plans for streaming more than once a week are never solid in stone. They always I'm way too busy during the week. You know, I work a full-time job. I run a business. I want to be present for my family. I got 2 kids. You know, a son and a daughter. I have a wife. Yeah, and additionally, like, how do I word this? I can't even afford a babysitter to like come here while I'm streaming, you know. So that it just makes it impossible for me to like kind of stream on a consistent basis other than Saturdays, because like right now my mother, she comes over on Saturdays to help with watching the kids, but otherwise, like, if I had to hire a babysitter to watch the kids while I'm streaming, I mean, I already pay. Like, it wouldn't be financially wise at all. So that's why it's hard for me to do another stream during the week, because I have all these other things competing for my time, competing for my energy. So yeah, I whenever I do have an open moment on a weeknight, then I decide to just do a random stream. But it's hard for me to commit when it's just not financially, doesn't make sense financially either. Because right, I much rather well, it makes sense for me to work on my full-time job where I'm getting paid and I'm getting bonuses for working, and I'm getting recognized and things like that. So yeah, it's a delicate balance, and I hate to bring up, you know, money when it comes to it, but I mean, I got a house to pay for. I got, you know, 2 kids. I got family. You know, so all of that, just a lot I have to think about when it comes to what I do. Hammy, I didn't miss your message about you carrying 2 phones. I just didn't read it out loud. Real piloting, you get paid for it, and there's obviously more to do. Yeah, that too. That's another thing I'm thinking about doing. You know how I'm talking about I would love to go visit world of airports in real life. I'm also thinking about like taking some flight lessons and recording it. Not sure how that would fit into world of airports, or how I could tie that into world of airports, but I still think that would be kind of fun. Doogie asks, do you have to level up every airport? You don't have to. You could always buy airports for gold planes, but you don't have to. I recommend a lot of leveling up every airport, so that way you can get more. You can get the next airport for free. Because why would you pay money for something that you could get for free? I mean, I guess you're playing with your time by playing the game, but if you're playing the game anyways, might as well get it for free. What's up? Peace out, Air Sri Param. Thanks for hopping in. I'm trying to get this 6th level, man. I need 1 more XP. And now my line for takeoff is starting to get long, so I'm going to go ahead and activate the departure manager. What's up, Darius Pilot? Priyanshu said we can understand your problem. Thank you, man. I appreciate that comment. How are we looking here? Aegis Kais. All right, awesome. Guys, if you want me to accept your contract on this account, my Phat Empire account, my stream only account, you do have to go into Twitch. And on Twitch, you have the option to use your Phat coins in order to buy a contract. So if you select the contract that says just regular L plane contract for all those planes that we have, which is a 789 and an 835K, that will enable me to accept your contract. If you want me to send you a plane, you can also buy the Phat plane contract, and that's me sending you a plane. Just be aware, by the way, I only play this account once a week, right? Only play this account on stream. So I'm not the best contract partner, because like not only do I stream once a week, but I don't play Prague every single week, right? So you're probably not going to see your plane for like a couple of weeks, maybe even a month. That's why I need to do more streams, so that way we could get more handlings, because that's like some of the advice I give to a lot of new players is like, you're better off playing, you know, every single day for 30 minutes instead of playing, you know, for one day for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, right? 30 minutes over 7 days is 3.5 hours. But if you spend 3.5 hours on one day, you're not going to make as much progress on a lot of these contracts as you would just playing 30 minutes per day. So that's advice. Give me a second. I'm going to drink some water. Darius just got home from somewhere. Nice. Does IN get any planes bigger than D? The Innsbruck does not have any stands that are bigger than D stands. So literally nowhere for them to park. Is there any A plane in WOA? We do have the DHC6 right now. I think, you know, maybe when we see the private jets coming in or the business jets coming in, we might see a few more A class planes, right? But for now, it's just the DHC6. Is it possible to get CNN free by leveling up? No, not at all. It's a generic airport. Now, one thing I do want to know, or I wish I knew the answer to, was like, when the next generic airport comes out, will they add a level to CNN? That way we can unlock the next generic airport for free? Or will all generic airports be a gold plane purchase? That I don't know the answer to. Not that it really makes a difference. Like, I kind of gave up on banking planes for now as well. If a lot of you guys have noticed, on my main account, right, SCL, I just started playing again because I stopped playing SCL for a while because I had to like manually assign all the planes because I wanted to keep the planes that were at contract completion, and I was like, this is too much work. I just want to play the game. So yeah, I gave up on banking planes. Maybe when we start to hear, you know, rumors, or I hear from the developers that the update's coming out soon, then maybe I start to give people a heads up that we should start banking planes. Maybe towards the second half of December, I'll start banking planes again. But for now, I've given up on banking planes. And like, the way I'm thinking about it too is like, I banked planes before because I wanted to make sure that I could stream the new airport on day one. But it's like, you know, I could just buy the airport. Yes, it's going against my advice, but that's what like a streamer or YouTuber has to do sometimes, right? Like, we have to get into it quickly, and that's just the cost of doing business. And yeah, I know I could get the airport for free by leveling up, and I know I would be going against my own advice I give to other people, but I would make sure you guys understand exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? So it's like, I don't need to have that on my mind anymore. I'm just gonna play the game, have fun, and not worry about banking too many planes. Maybe at the end of December I will. Ultra says, don't renew that plane going to LHR. You have a better use for that contract slot then? Okay. let's see my radar here. So Adam Cack, you got a plane going to you in 8 minutes to your LHR. Shrek has a plane going to Bari. Adam Cack to LHR in 20 minutes. Red Concorde to St. Martin in 45 minutes. Oh, I handled my first E290 on this account. That's cool. Oh, and then I can't see the planes going to like Mert or to who was it? The other one, was it Cats? I forget who the other Concorde was that was complete. But oh, Easy Nuts. I can't see those because their contracts are canceled. They're finished. So, a Land Hockey Fan. I see him here today. Them here today. You were about to say a couple of months. Yo, I cannot believe it's November already. I feel like December is like still 3 months away. I don't know why. I still feel like the end of the year is like 3 months away. But no, it's like less than 2 months away. I can't believe that. Why does my departure manager not do lineup for me? I would check your ratio. Double check your ratio here. If you have your ratio like for like 5 to 1 or something, then of course they're gonna wait for 5 planes to land before 5 planes take off, before 1 plane takes off. So I would just double check that ratio. Otherwise, I have no clue, bro. Because all of my planes, even on when I'm playing casually, or passively, I should say, like that plane, look, he's lining up, but my ratio is at 1 to 1. Right, so 1 plane landed, another plane is taken off. Look at that. Merch planes back to Leipzig already. Let's go. Now we got to filter for E-planes. And heart it. Yep, there we go. Priyanshu said there should be a different section in the game to unlock generic airports next by next every generic airports. That I agree, and I would expect that once we have like 2 or 3 definitely when we have 3 or more generic airports, I would love to see a different section for that, so that way it's kind of clear that okay, this is a generic airport, and these are full-fledged airports. But right now with 1 airport that's a generic airport, I don't think having a whole different menu for that makes sense. But maybe that would also make it more clear that these are full airports and then this is a generic airport. This is a basic airport. So yeah, that would also help with that too, right? Because then people would know, oh, this is a generic airport. Whereas I don't think the game right now really kind of shows that it's a generic airport. It just kind of another airport you can unlock, and you can't unlock it by normal gameplay. You have to only pay gold planes. It doesn't say it's like a generic airport or anything. You want to know if there's a cooldown when buying using gold planes or not? So I can explain the store for you. So with the Boeing pack and Airbus pack, you can't buy those with gold planes, but there's a 30-day cooldown for each of those. For gold planes, there's no cooldown for buying gold planes. You can buy as many as you want, as often as you want. For golden airplanes, for trading in your silver planes, first off, you should only do the 10,000 silver planes for 10 gold planes until you're have an abundance of silver planes. But this has a 7-day cooldown, and then the 1 gold plane has a 24-hour cooldown. There's no cooldown on buying silver airplanes except for the free one. The free one has a 24-hour cooldown. So once you hit that claim now button, there's a 24-hour cooldown on that. There's no limit on how many wallers you can purchase using your gold planes, but I forget what the cooldown is for wallers. I think it's 3 hours or it might be 24 hours. That one I'm not entirely sure. With handling crew, for this handling crew for the 1 hour with 5 crew, it's a 24-hour cooldown. For buying both of these, the 1 handling crew for 10 gold planes and the 5 handling crew for 45 gold planes, both of those have a 24-hour cooldown. The free handling crew, I forget what the cooldown is for that, but everybody has access to that anyways. And then for this one, the 3 handling crew for 4 hours at 250, I think has a 4-hour cooldown. For contract capacity, if you're buying contract capacity with silver planes, you have a 48-hour cooldown. And if you're buying contract capacity with gold planes, you have a 24-hour cooldown. So that is the list of all your cooldowns in the store. Or the airport card is a different color. That's another cool solution, hockey fan. Yep. But I think if they spelled out this is a generic airport, that would probably also help with a lot of confusion. Because if somebody's just like not connected to like the community, you know, to like their social media, to the forum, to Discord or whatever, they're not gonna know. And that's the problem with a lot of games. A lot of games kind of want you to be connected to the community in order to like understand what's happening and the updates and stuff like that. Because it's like there's only so much information you could put in the game, because then you're kind of also growing the game size. And then especially for a mobile game, you know, you got to think about it. Like iPhones still come out, I think, well, I think it was still recently, some of the older iPhones still only have 128 gigabytes of space as the minimum, you know. I think now they're up to 256 gigabytes, but still that's not a lot of space, considering that some of that space is taken up for the operating system, and then some of you know, you also have your text messages, you have also maybe music and other apps, of course, that you need to have installed. So I know World of Airport developers are really aware of space and how much space their game is taking. And that's why I think that's why they're excited about generic airports. They put it into their new dev blog that we read earlier, is that it doesn't really, each new generic airport doesn't really add a lot of size to the game. Yo, no problem, M Knight. Thank you for the good question, man. Not a lot of people have asked that, so sorry I didn't know every single one, but I knew the ones that were gold planes at least. So someone just unlocked Bari. What should I be careful in the tips of Bari? So it's a little bit different now, right? Because you can't just unlock an E stand right away. So at Bari, I would go for at Bari though. Actually, that E stand, right? It's only a D and E stand, I think. I forget. Can somebody remind me? The two stands that are for like L planes at Bari, are they C, D, and E, or are they just D and E stands? Because that kind of makes a difference, right? They are D and E. Yeah, so I would probably still go for try to get one of those stands as soon as possible. But you don't want to have too many of those large contracts when you're starting off, because you're not going to get them as a local contract, you're not going to get them as a regional, and it's going to be hard for you to get it as an international contract. You'll get some E-planes eventually as you level up through the airport progress rewards, but if you're going to open up the D or E stand, you want to find somebody to send you a contract, right? Or I don't know if you bought like the Airbus package or anything like that, but like you also, if you have the Airbus pack, for example, you can use the A306 there. You can use the A35K there. So that gives you an opportunity at that airport too. So, but you want to get those larger planes, because the larger planes are going to get you a good amount of wallers. I mean, this is my A388. So your own planes in your own fleet will make you more money than somebody else's plane coming to you. But you see here, this plane is making me 14,000 wallers for one handling. If we looked at, that's a seaplane. Where am I? Here's a, okay. This is a Concorde. Concorde's kind of like they don't make a lot of money. Typically, like you get 550 revenue. If we were to handle like a normal E or D plane, let me see if I could find one. Actually, I could probably find one here. A346. This A346 is going to make me 1,500 wallers from handling it. Compare that to like the A21NX, which is making me 777. You know, this E295, which is making me 453. You know, you have to handle 3 of these planes in order to make as much as that one plane, which is really hard when you're first starting off. But everything is slower in a brand new airport. Everything. Whether it's Bari or any other airport, it's always going to be a lot slower. But then once you start getting those planes handled, once you start getting those contracts completed, and you start, you know, expanding your progress rewards, you get more handling crew, you get more contract slots, you get some of the wallers, especially in those early levels. Use those wallers to help you unlock things. And at Bari and Innsbruck and even Prague and Nagoya, like those 4 airports have some of the, and even St. Martin. So those 5 airports, which is Innsbruck, Bari, Prague, Nagoya, St. Martin, those 5 airports have some of the cheapest premium passes out there. Definitely worth it if you have some gold planes to spend, and you're willing to spend them. What did you get for level 21? We got some wallers. But like wallers aren't too exciting when you're like already leveled up the airport. I think I bought wallers. I used gold planes for wallers at this airport. So now the wallers are really just going to be used for buying more planes when you guys do redemptions. Don't blame me, but what is the best way to gain XP or just tips? So, I mean, the biggest tip I have is play a little bit every single day. You know, I like to heart the planes that are at like 7 out of 10 or higher for my contracts completion. So that way they land first. And they only land first because on the approach manager here, I have prefer favorite airplanes turned on. So I like to heart those planes so that way they can get a lot of they can get landed first and I can level up faster. Yo, Flamingo, thank you for 10 gifted subs. That's really cool. We got Highness Pro, Fair Pigeon, Doogie, Goosey, Educate, Nico, Ultra, Hitchhiker, Benz Airlines, and Pueller. Nice. Congratulations to all you guys. Thank you very much, Flamingo. And if you guys just got gifted a sub, first off, give a big thank you to Flamingo. And then second, you know, join the Phat Airlines Discord if you're not already, because on the Discord, we have a special VIP only section. And if you link your Discord account with your Twitch account, you'll gain access to those VIP sections. Same thing for you guys on YouTube. If you guys are YouTube members, even at the basic level, all YouTube members also get access to the VIP channels. So definitely link your Discord to your Google account or your YouTube account, so that way you can gain access to those channels automatically. Yeah, what's the best way to gain XP? Play a little bit every single day. I think that's the best way. Okay. Yeah, play a little bit every single day. Try to handle some bigger planes. Don't discount the smaller planes. And I like hearting the planes that are at close to completion. That way we can get them completed faster. It's DE combined because D cargo planes use those stands too. Oh, I didn't realize that, Hammy. Thank you for that. So Bari DE and combined. Interesting. Flamingo's playing Muscat Flamingo Express right now. Can you please handle NAH and NVM Concords and send them so I can handle them? Hopefully send them back right away. We're not going to have time to really, I don't think we're going to have time to send them back. But you know what I realized? I realized I didn't have prefer favorited airplanes turned on at first. So I was wondering where are all my large planes? Where are all the Concords? And then I turned it on about 30 minutes ago, I think it was. So I messed up. 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 I What was... Sammy, thanks for the hype. Is NVM and not a call signs? Yes. Yeah, so, oh, I have more Concords. Let's see. Okay, I got you. I'll get those two landed next. No problem, Flamingo. There's so many on this list. And that's why even at Prague today, I did try to, like, I loaded up the game a little bit early so I can land some of these planes ahead of time. But Prague has such a long taxi time. And actually what I probably should do is turn the arrival or approach departure ratio to 2-to-1 so we can get more arrivals versus more departures. Yeah, I think I prioritized your St. Martin ones because those were at 5 out of 10, whereas the Muscat ones are at 0 out of 10. Is using the new scheduling necessary? Nah, not at all. It's completely optional. D89 shift. Completely optional. I'm not using it at all right now, actually, on this airport. Where I do like using it is when you want to prioritize certain planes. So, like for this account, for example, you know, it would make sense for me to schedule Concords to each of these, you know, E-stands that are available. So that way we can make sure that Concords are always prioritized. But completely not necessary to use. You know, when you have G planes, like the A225 going in for landing, the A225 is a good plane to schedule because then that way that plane gets priority from the delivery manager and from for when scheduling planes on that stand. But yeah, completely optional, not necessary. What's up, Kamikaze? Nice to see you, man. Guys still have Toby, right? I feel like he hasn't been mentioned in ages. Yeah, Toby's still here. He's just he's not downstairs when I am right now. Somehow Prague is a Concord hub for Phat. Yeah, it makes sense though because you could send from LHR, and LHR is an airport where a lot of people might have a lot of Wallers. You could also send a Concorde from Leipzig. Leipzig is another airport that you might have a lot of Wallers for because cargo planes, I mean, there's so much money in cargo. And a lot of larger planes, you know, go to Leipzig. You could also send from Muscat. You could send from IAD. So like all those airports, like all are airports that like you can make a lot of Wallers in. Leipzig is tough though because you only have three slots that you can store a Concorde to stand at. But yeah, that makes Leipzig a little tougher. But if you're sending it to me while I'm streaming live, then it's not hard at all. Oh yeah, so all these other requests, guys, if you know, if you want me to accept them, you have to send them to you have to buy the request on Twitch. It's not real money, it's Phat coins, but you do have to buy it. If you want to send to my main account though, my main account, I'm always accepting planes constantly, all day, every day. I'm accepting your contract requests. My main account is the Phat Rican, ThePhatriccan, and on that account I mainly play Washington IAD, London Heathrow LHR, and Bangkok BKK. I've been playing a lot more SCL lately too. I'm not really mainly playing CNN at all. I barely play CNN right now because I'm just playing all the other airports. But all the other airports that I also play occasionally. I just can't play every single airport every single day. So I have those 3 airports, which are LHR, BKK, and IAD. Those 3 airports I play every single day. The other airports I play as often as I am able to. So you could always feel free to send it to one of those, especially like if you have a plane and you're looking for, you know, you get a plane from like leveling up, right? Like, you know, you reach level, you know, 33 at Prague and get this A319 and you don't know who to send it to, you know, feel free to send it to my LHR or something, you know. I do my best to play every single day, and I accept the contracts pretty much daily as well. Toby's on stream during the night streams when I do a night stream. What do you think is the best airport hub to send conks out? Whatever airport you have the most money in. So for some people it could be Leipzig, for some people it could be LHR, it could be IAD, it could be Muscat, right? All those airports have the capability of making a lot of money. BKK is not necessarily the greatest because not too many destinations you could send it to right now, but that, I mean, that could always change. Darius has a 734 to Bari and that only makes $300. Yeah, that's a 734 for you. I think the longer the route, the more money it's going to make, though. Should I subscribe to Phat with my YouTube channel account? Yeah, man. Subscribing is completely free on YouTube. We're not going to tell any planes to put line up. We don't need lineups. Alright, so how close? Okay, I'm only 3 levels away from regional airport, and I do have one more. I have one more Concorde here that is at 9 out of 10, so that's exciting. Got a few minutes on these. 3 minutes. Okay. That one's done. This one, 3 minutes. Okay. Nice. So the next round of Concords are going to be arriving soon. What's up, Colleen Love? I do wish that they let us get into this camera view anytime. Like, the only reason I'm able to be in here is because I caught it before they disabled it, right? So once you start handling the plane blocks the game blocks you from accessing this camera angle. But if you trigger it before the game blocks that, you can stay in it. So I wish we had that capability of just accessing this camera angle. Same way I wish we had the capability of being in those airplane spotting camera views, and also having the UI, you know, still being able to handle planes while in that view. That's like the main reason I don't even use those views, because I have so many planes to handle that it's like, all right, I'm not going to use those views because I'm always have like a few planes to handle, and I like to just follow the planes as they come on. Flamingo would like more camera angles views in the game. Yeah, exactly. I do wish like it was a free roam camera was possible too. That would be cool. Is he supposed to be holding like a pipe? Or is he doing an inspection? What's happening over here? You could look at it while handling. What's the problem? You can't get this close, Ultra. You can't get this. It's hard to get this close when you're in normal camera views. But if you mean the other way around, like what's the problem? Why won't the devs just enable it? I have no clue. Oh, yeah, that's your previous message. Wonder why they even block it if you can look at it while handling. What's the problem? Yep. Yo, what's up, Darius? They did say they're gonna add like more views, I think. But even still. Back, taxi to runway. I don't need to tell it to line up. So yeah, like these airport spotting cameras, I don't really use them. And it's like, I don't know why they have a picture icon, because like all phones and all mobile devices have a shortcut that you can use to take a picture, like a regular screenshot. I can understand, you know, having the settings here and the distance and focal length sliders, which, you know, add some blur, right? But I don't even know what the distance does. Hold on. Oh, it helps with the focal length. Even still, I feel like a lot of this can be done, like a lot of that editing can be done post processing, you know? And I don't see too many people using it either, so using those kind of or using the editing. Alright, Mert's plane is next. This is great. This is great. You're watching two streams at once, but they're both fat. Thank you, man. Thank you. Educate said, Fat, about the repair thingy at the end of a car just comes and I don't know what it does. You have any idea? They repair it, man. They just kind of like sit there and watch the plane. I think they go towards the engine and do repairs around the engine area. But I don't even know what it looks like in real life, you know? So to me, it's just like, okay, it's just another delay on my plane. Probably how like executives feel. Pilot walk around is kind of weird. He just spawns and disappears. Why doesn't he walk up and down the air stairs? I feel like that was kind of hinted at in the latest dev blog. Like that might be something we see in a future update where you're gonna see more of those like actions actually happening, where the crew goes, you know, boards and deboards. You know, they did mention that, right? New animations for crew disembarkation and boarding. So I think that would also include the pilots doing that as well. That would be my assumption. Pat, do you think that the Hong Kong airport will rival the BKK for the best airport in Asia? I think it'll be the best airport, just based on what I'm hearing. I mean, this image over here doesn't really. I mean, I guess it could you could kind of assume that each of these purple dots are single stands. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of stands, and then what you got? Where are the runways? Is this a runway? This is probably one runway. I heard that there's like 4 runways, and people on Discord were saying that 3 of the runways will probably be for landing, which would make it super efficient, right? Why can we not see both YouTube and Twitch chat on both? So I know a lot of streamers will have it so you can see both chats on one screen, but if you read the terms of service for YouTube and for I don't think Twitch has this terms of service, but I know for YouTube they don't want other messages, like other chat messages from other streaming platforms, to be shown on screen. So that's technically against the terms of service. Now, it's not enforced, right? Because lots of other streamers do it. But why? I'm not going to give YouTube a reason to take down my channel whenever they decide to enforce it. Because I've seen that happen for a lot of other YouTube channels where there's like a rule on the books that never gets enforced, and then YouTube suddenly decides to enforce this rule, and then all of a sudden now all this content that was okay for years, which technically broke the rules, is suddenly not okay, and then they get upset because they broke the rules, but it was never enforced. That's why, like, I'm a fan of like, that's why I don't like having too many rules. Because, like, if you're gonna have rules on the books and you're not gonna enforce them, what's the point of having the rule? I feel the same way about in government and stuff like that too. But yeah, ultimately, I just try to follow the rules as they're written, so that way everything is safe long term. Flyboy cam for departure and landing would also be cool. Yep. See, I wish for departures, I wish we still, like, see, departures, the card kind of disappears. So, like, if you go on here into this list here, once the plane takes off and it's no longer on the ground, the card disappears. So there's no way to center back on that plane anymore. So you have to be focused on the plane in order to stay focused on it once it departs. So I wish there was a way to kind of refocus on the plane after it departed. Yeah, years ago it wasn't allowed to do co-streams, you know, or 2 streams at the same time. You weren't allowed to do both a YouTube stream and a Twitch stream at the same time. It just was against the, I think, Twitch terms of service. YouTube would allow it, but Twitch wouldn't allow it. Then Twitch changed their policies. So now, you know, now when Twitch did it, that's when about like a couple weeks later, I also started multi-streaming. France Japan said HKG, 3 runways, 1 departure, 1 landing, the third is mixed. Okay. So that might be less efficient than BKK, because BKK, all 3 runways are used for landings, and I think 2 of them are used for departures. Darius Paya said that someone with a 15 million fan base would get banned if it was enforced. And they gotta get rid of the rule. That's the way I feel. Like if you don't want that person who has 15 million followers to get banned, then change the rule. Like, why make it so, like, the little guys, you're okay with banning the little guys for the same exact rule that you're not going to ban the big guy for? That's messed up. It's really messed up. But that's exactly what happens in real life, you know? You got the rules on the book that don't apply to the billionaires, but then, you know, all the little guys have to follow the rules as written. What airports can you get the Concorde for your fleet using the pass? So it's IAD and LHR. Those 2 have the Concorde as a reward in the premium pass. HKG has 3 runways, 07L, C, and R, plus the opposite 2. Okay. Euler said, I don't understand why in Prague, in real life, they use one runway for both departures and landings, switching between the 2 runways to have one for arrivals and one for departures. I think because they intersect. They intersect right here, so essentially you could really only operate one at a time. Whereas like at like MSY, the runways don't technically overlap, right? So I think that might be part of the problem. Because if you have a plane on this runway, then the entire runway is in use, right? Which means that this runway cannot be in use at all because this runway is in use. That's my understanding of it. I might not be 100% right, but that's like the way I understand, is that once a runway is active and it's in use by a plane for landing or departure, then that runway has to be completely cleared of airplanes, including this runway cannot be used for at that same time. All right. When's the next update? Well, we're expecting there should be an update 3.3.1 somewhat soon. It sounds like they're gonna fix a bug that some people are experiencing with the scheduling manager, but we don't have any dates as far as when the next major update 3.4, like with the new airport Hong Kong and some other features. That one is expected before the end of the year. That's all the information we have so far. Bear pigeon. Oh, that's not to me. Educated said, Fat, I sent a plane to your IAD on your main account. Awesome. There's no way I can accept my main account while I'm streaming. I play my main account on the iPad that you're seeing on stream right now. So I have to log out of my Fat Empire account, log back into my the Fat Rican account. So as soon as I get off stream, that's when I will accept your request. That's when I'm gonna go back into my into my accounts. I have probably tons of requests pending at LHR and stuff like that. So because I didn't play this morning when I woke up. This morning I was super tired this morning. I did have a little bit of coffee, so that helped with my energy. But super tired this morning when I woke up, and then I had to, I brought the kids downstairs. I had to prep for stream. Then I had to get my son his food ready. I was giving him something new he's never eaten before. So that was kind of risky, but he actually enjoyed it, so that was good. Then I had to get my daughter's food ready, and then I had to feed them, and then I had to, make sure I took my medicine, my supplements, and then I had to, then I made my water, I gotta drink water. Hemi asked, are you accepting planes at CNN? You have a few requests pending for 2 weeks. I'm sorry about that, Hemi. I honestly haven't even played CNN much. Like, the only time I played it was like on streams. Outside of streams, I haven't played it. So I'm gonna go to CNN tonight. All right, I'm gonna go there tonight. And I'm gonna accept your planes, and I'm gonna play a little bit too. So what I'm gonna do is after stream today, I'm gonna after stream today, I'm gonna log out of Fat Empire, log into my main account, go into every single airport and accept all the contract requests that are pending, okay? And then I'm gonna go shopping, grocery shopping. I'm not gonna be playing World of Airports. What I'll probably do while I'm grocery shopping is turn on, bring on LHR, turn on all 4 of the tower managers for like an hour and a half, because that's usually about how long it takes to do some grocery shopping on a weekend, because there's a lot of people there. That way when I come back, the airport has a bunch of planes on the ground ready for me to handle, and then I'll either continue playing LHR or go to CNN or something like that. But I always like to do that whenever I know I'm gonna be AFK away from my game for a while. I like to turn on an airport, turn on the managers for like an hour, let the tower managers land the planes, so that way when I'm actually ready to play, I can start handling planes. I should have done that this morning when I loaded into, like, when I was doing my wake up routine, helping the kids, feeding the kids, and taking my supplements, and doing all those things. I should have also logged into Phat Empire. I should have turned on the tower manager. I should have turned on the approach manager, and this airport should have been full. But I kind of forgot. Oh, and then I also had to create a new thumbnail for my YouTube streams. How you guys liking that, by the way? I've been I'm trying something. It's not something new, but I'm doing this again, where instead of using like one common thumbnail for all my live streams on YouTube, I'm creating new thumbnails which are still kind of like the same thumbnail, but every single live stream is going to have a new thumbnail, so that way you could see the title, you could see the topics that we're going to talk about. It might be, I'm hoping that it makes it easier to like replay it and watch it again in the future. But how do you guys feel about it? If you don't feel anything about it, that's cool too. It's more of a me thing, right? You're on iPad? Thought you were on PC? Nah, I do not play on PC. There's no official way to play on PC. You could play on PC using like an emulator or something, but when you play using an emulator, sometimes there could be some problems. And then this game is not necessarily like made for mouse. You can play with a mouse. You see my mouse coming up every once in a while, so you can play with a mouse, but not made for a mouse. And then so yeah, I play on an iPad Pro, which is then connected to my capture card, which is then connected to my computer, which then streams it out to the internet. Yeah, that's my setup. Bear Pigeon's gonna send their A340 to my IAD from LHR. Nice. Yeah, that's a good contract right there. Oh, Voitando's here. What's up, man? Hope you're enjoying your class, bro. Yeah, no problem, Hammy. I'm gonna make sure I go in and accept those planes. And if you want to send them to someone else, that's understandable too. I do need to play some CNN though. Like, I need to like not ignore that airport. Do you know what I'm saying? Because how do you word it? I paid the gold planes for that airport. I paid the gold planes for the premium pass. So like, I might as well like get some like use out of it, you know? Now I want to look at these other E-planes that we have and see which ones we need to like land. Actually, my better route is to go here, filter the E-planes, and let's see if we got any that are at like 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 or higher. 7 out of 10 or higher, and these are going to get hearted. And that's one of the things I use in my like gameplay, so that way I can make sure that the planes that are closest to completion can get completed. And then I also heart Concords, because Concords are special planes, so I want to make sure also those planes get completed. All right, cool. That's looking good. What about D planes? That one's at 9 out of 10, flying to Muscat. All right, awesome. That's looking all right. So let's go back to hearted. We have this one, and we have this Concorde. So we're gonna land the Concorde, and then that'll be for all those. In Prague, in real life, both runways in use, maybe not together, but not as in WOA. I'm gonna default to the World of Airports developers because I'm pretty sure that Prague is like their home airport, so they're very familiar with Prague operations. They actually had a partnership. I'm not sure if the partnership still exists or not, but they had a partnership with Prague Airport when they created Airport Prague game, right? So I would think that the developers, you know, being from the area and being, you know, having a partnership with the airport would probably do the right thing to this for this airport. Ultra said, but you're not supposed to play Empire off stream. But is having the tower managers land planes for you playing the game? That's the question. Is that playing the game? Not really. Playing the game is actually like when you have to go in, select a plane, and then start handling it. Are we going to get another level? Are we going to get another level from this? We going to get 95 XP? $122 XP. Let's go. We got another level. Pretty exciting. That's like, what, 6 levels today? That's crazy. But like, that's how it is with player contracts in the beginning, early levels. It's like, I go so long without getting a single reward, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting 6 levels in one day. I'm getting text messages because my church lost internet this week, and I'm like the head of technology. I'm the head of a lot of things at the church, but like I'm in charge of like the internet at the church. But I wasn't able to go to the church today, so my pastor's texting me telling me the internet's working now, and he told me that they had a cable cut. There was a cut cable. So I asked him, I'm like, all right, was the cable cut inside the church or outside the church? Because like if it's inside the church, it's a big problem. If it's outside the church, then it's nothing we can do about that, right? It was outside the church, so I'm good. But yeah, yesterday I went to church because they have a church service on the first Friday of the month. So yesterday I went to church because I was gonna try to fix the internet, but we couldn't get it working. And you know, our some of the computer was having issues, so I got that fixed as well. Yeah, so I was just getting some text messages from my pastor telling me that everything's working now, so it's pretty exciting. Educate said, for rich players with a lot of gold planes like UFAT, buying CNN and a premium pass is just nothing. Well, here's the way I think about it. Like I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a rich player, and I wouldn't even think about it that way. Because like even Flamingo, who a lot of you guys say is a rich player, it's not like that, because anybody could be a rich player. You know, what I have, and I know Flamingo is very similar in this aspect, is we have a set budget for our month, right? And I have a budget for video games in the month, so that way I can it's usually around $100 to $200 a month, right? And that way I could buy video games or buy gold planes, right? Or, you know, buy in-app purchases. So for me, I like supporting the things that I enjoy playing. There are a couple games out there that I play a lot of. Like I play Rocket League, I play Destiny 2, I play World of Airports. Sometimes I play Sea of Thieves. I have a few other games installed on my computer as well. You know, Pal World, RuneScape. I guess those are like the main games that I play. But like, even if it's a free to play game, I want to buy things in it because, you know, it's not free to run and operate a video game or anything in the world, really. Everything costs money. So I use some of my budget to buy gold planes and buy things like that. I know some of you guys are in school still, right? So like you're not out of school, so it's, you don't have jobs, so you're not gonna have money to spend, right? You don't have a budget. But once you start getting jobs and stuff like that, you want to start budgeting for things, and then, you know, make sure you set aside a budget for video games. If you like playing video games, I like playing video games, so I set aside a budget for video games. That way, when Pokemon Legends came out, I could buy it day one, no problem. You know, when the Animal Crossing update comes out in January, I can buy it day one. Or is it December? I don't know. I forget when it's coming out. It's on my calendar. But when like those things come out, I can buy it, no problem, because it's in my budget. If you don't have a budget, then everything is expensive, you know, and it's really hard. But that's why, you know, I set aside a little bit of money so that way I can make sure I can buy things like that every single month. Tony's planes give you Southwest vibes. I know, right? Me too, man. I see his planes all the time on my main account. So, yep, Southwest for sure, right? Hockey fan says, just have to be frugal buying stuff. I have a 212 gold planes and I just don't buy stuff with it for no purpose or reasonable use. Yeah, and you see me doing that here too, right? Just because I have 1,700 gold planes right now doesn't mean I'm gonna go ahead and spend it all. I can buy a Concorde, right? Which I want to do eventually on this account. But just because I have it doesn't mean I need to spend it right now. Now, you know, I don't have the 744 unlocked, right? And we saw on the newest dev blog that the 744 is, or 747s are getting updated, right? So that might be an opportunity for the developers to also update the 744 and update the pricing as well. So now might be a good time to unlock it. You know, I can get the 744 and the premium, what is this? Premium 1 livery for 40 gold planes. And once this plane gets updated in price, it's going to probably cost 56 gold planes to unlock. So definitely not a bad time to unlock the 744. The C-17 is another plane that's going to get a remodel sometime soon. So another plane you might want to consider to unlock, you know. And there's a few other planes out there as well. But we'll see what my hearted planes look like. Line up. Taxing. Good. Looks like all the hearted planes except for this one. And this one's almost done. So all the hearted planes are pretty much done. We'll wait for the 77L to finish, and then I have to call it, because I got to do some grocery shopping tonight. Yo, and I know some of you guys watch soccer, football, and I'm pretty hyped because the team I root for, which is New York City Football Club in Major League Soccer here in America, they last night they played and they won their playoff game. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. They won their playoff game, so they're moving on to the next round in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I have season tickets, but unfortunately, I opted out of the playoff tickets. But like they're looking pretty hot right now, so I'm like, they make it to the finals. I'm gonna want to go to the finals. Basically, playing the game is only switching airports and clicking start handling. Pretty much. You said it's a boring game loop? That's probably why you don't play anymore, Ultra. That's probably why you don't play anymore. Like, who are you talking to? I'm enjoying the game. I enjoy it. Flamingo's handling Italy at Bari right now, so you can send that back. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna be hopping off soon though. Flamingo's fun money philosophy stems from the face that my IRL job is high stakes and stressful, and all I don't do at work. Oh, sorry. Your IRL job is high stakes and stressful, and all I don't do to all work and no play. That's right. It's just not fun, and it's a quick burnout. That's right. You do have to have, like, I agree. Because like there's some periods in time where I just don't have time to play games, and those times are super stressful for me, and I end up taking like a day or two off from work and from like other responsibilities, so that way I can have some time to myself. For me, video games is really how I decompress. It's also how I connect with other people. You know, I play with you guys on World of Airports for my friends in real life. I play with them on Rocket League or other, you know, video games. We used to do Xbox Live together, but now I play on PC. And you know, Microsoft is killing the Xbox essentially, so that's gonna have to change now. But yeah, overall, I'm with you, Flamingo. Yeah, I've returned. Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts, Ultra. Alrighty. Well, let's look at the radar here. Let's see if we got what planes we got coming back. We got Sammy's plane coming back. We got Dolphins Airlines plane coming. We got Sammy's plane coming back. Magic Sky's plane coming. And Educate plane coming. Nice. Well, guys, that is it for me today. I had to make it a short stream because I got some other things I need to do tonight. But I'll be back here next Saturday, which is next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're not sure what time 11 a.m. Eastern is, you can go to your Washington Airport IAD, click on it, and you can see what time it is. Right now, it is 1:13 p.m. for me, so even though it's daylight savings, this game finally got daylight savings right, which is cool. But it's 1:13 for me, and today it's time for me to go. Typically, I try to end stream around 2 p.m., but today I got a couple things I need to take care of. So, if you guys want, send your contract request to my main account, the Phat Rican, THEPHATRICAN, and I'm going to log out of this account, log into my main account, and I'm going to accept all the pending contracts as much as I can. Sometimes I might run out of contract capacity, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. All right. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Unfortunately, we still haven't reached 10,000 gold silver planes, so we can't do another 10 gold planes. But that's what happens when you play only once per week. It's almost impossible. Well, no. Let me backcheck on that. You can get 10,000 silver planes for playing once a week, but you gotta have everything kind of sorted out the right way. You have to have a lot of player contracts. You have to play a lot longer than I'm playing. You know, this 2 hours isn't gonna cut it. 3 hours, not really. 4 hours might be good enough. But anyways, thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching, and thank you for all the support as well. Flamingo, Mert, Sloppy, Easy Nuts, appreciate the subscriptions. BA, thank you for the membership, and all you guys subscribing on YouTube and following on Twitch. I appreciate you guys too, and you lurkers. Thank you for watching, man. Thank you for being here and listening in. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. Peace.